Hey everyone, Melanie Allen, Emerald Ambassador. So honored tonight to have a very special guest that I'd like to introduce, Kay Miller. And she's a very accomplished author, international speaker, business coach, minister, and entrepreneur. In her lengthy and prestigious career as a business coach, Kay has helped numerous companies and entrepreneurs to succeed in ways they never dreamed possible by helping them tap into and fully unlock their limitless resources to succeed. She uses a deeply spiritual approach coupled with very practical and well-grounded methods to help others succeed. As a speaker, she is very well respected. She has spoken nationally and internationally, giving over 1,000 presentations to date. She has also shared the stage with beloved Zig Ziglar. She is comfortable speaking both in the marketplace and in church settings. Companies she has previously spoken for include AT&T, Wells Fargo, Mary Kay, Aflac, Remax, the American Business Women's Association, Keller Williams, Bank of America, and Smith Barney, to name a few. Kay, we are so honored to have you on with us tonight, and I am going to go ahead and pass it over to you. You can share a little bit about your testimony and go ahead and get started.
All right, guys. So where to start? Let's see. I want to share intensely beneficial content that you can take away and actually start using right away. And my topic tonight is your internal dialogue. What is that internal dialogue? How are you dealing with the disappointments? How are you dealing with your business and your direction? You know, what is it that you're saying to yourself that's going to actually help you get there or keep you from getting there? And I thought I would start off with Stanley's testimony.
Oh, thank you, honey. Don't touch anything, okay?
Stanley was a gentleman that I worked with years ago, and he worked for a home builder here in Houston, and there were several other salespeople in his office. And they just opened a new subdivision. There weren't that many houses in there. They built a couple of spec homes, but they didn't have their signage out yet. And so a lot of their sales were basically driving the property and looking at the homes, the home designs, the blueprints that they had. And Stanley attended my seminar and learned about the power of your words to create your life. And not only words you speak out loud, but the words that you say to yourself in your internal dialogue. And so he went back to his office and he started writing down everything that the people at his office were saying. Nobody's going to find us. We don't have our signage out. Nobody gets out in the rain. It's been rainy. People look at the homes, they act like they're interested, and then they back out. And he said he found it fascinating because that's exactly what was happening. And the more they talked about it, they just were negative Nellies in the office. And he said what he decided to do is take every single negative statement and reverse it. And then he would repeat it to himself in an internal dialogue. He knew better than to say it out loud because they would have looked at him like he was taking crazy pills. So he started everything they'd say that was negative. He just reversed it. And then he'd say, people come out in the rain. They're looking for new homes today. Doesn't matter whether we have the signage or not. They're finding us. I attract buyers. I help connect people with their perfect home. And he just created this internal dialogue. So he kept saying this to himself over and over and over again. And they would have a little drawing when it was time for people to sit on the property. They would draw a name and then you would be assigned these days, you know, this afternoon or that morning. And so they would never be in there alone. They would usually have 2 or 3 people in there in case they did get more than one person coming in. And they were only selling 1 and 2 homes a month at this development. And at that rate, really, they weren't doing that great. They were all really discouraged and downtrodden. You know, when you have a lot of activity going and a lot of action, it's easy to stay positive. But when you have that one sale that falls through, or that one thing you were hoping was going to happen and it falls through, it is easy to get discouraged, especially if you don't know how to control that inner dialogue. It can literally shut you down. So Stanley just decided as an experiment that he was going to do this. So he would draw his name and he would be assigned that time on the property. And when he was sitting there in that little shack, and there were times that Stanley was actually there alone. It was kind of odd because usually they did try to man it with at least 2 people, but it seemed like when it was Stanley's time that they would have something else they had to do, or doctor's appointment or something, just couldn't be there. And whenever Stanley was there, there would be a deluge of people that would come in. Stanley said it was bizarre. And he didn't really know what to think about it at first, because he thought, well, maybe it's just a coincidence, you know. But then the other salespeople started to notice that whenever Stanley was on duty, then people would come in, you know, there'd be crowds of people coming in, and they were picking out lots and picking out homes and buying homes. So at the end of the month, when all the sales numbers came in, everybody else still sold their normal 1 or 2, and Stanley sold 12. So that was a big difference. It's not a small difference. He didn't double his sales. He didn't increase his sales by 1 or 2. When you go from 1 or 2 to 12 in 1 month, and they said, Stanley, what are you doing? What are you saying to these people? How are you doing this, Stanley? And he said, well, I went to this seminar. This lady by the name of Kay talked about keys to the kingdom, keys to this realm of limitless possibility that we could unlock, and that words have power, that we could say, like the Bible says, if you say to this mountain, be cast in the sea, and do not doubt in your heart, then whatever you say, if you believe it, will come to pass. Well, the rest of the salespeople about tore my door off the hinges. They didn't want to wait till the next event. They said, oh, no, we have to have those keys. We need those keys out. The entire culture at the company, the entire culture in their organization completely changed. And they were all super positive, with a super positive internal dialogue. And another testimony that I can give you is when I was working at Untitled Corporation. That was years ago. That was that job that I got. Many of you know my testimony, but I went through a hard time, and I was a hairstylist. Well, that doesn't prepare you for a whole lot of other things. You know, if you're not able to hold on to your clientele, and then you have to rebuild a clientele, and you don't have a support system, you may have to consider another career path, which is what happened to me. And I went into the corporate world. So here's this hairstylist thrust into sales, and I started off in the telemarketing department. Then I was quickly promoted. I was doing training, and the sales were off the charts, but I was using an internal dialogue that was propelling me in the direction of success. And I continued that stream. See, you can only really think one thought at a time. You can't think 2 thoughts at the same time. So if you take control of your thought life, the Bible says, if you think a negative thought, take it captive, cast it down. In other words, don't let it in. Don't be like someone with a badminton. If the negative thought's trying to get in, just use your little badminton and start whacking it, sending it off. Don't let it come in and take root, because it can change your momentum. It can change your mind. It can change everything. One negative thought. And if you're trying to succeed, if you're trying to build a business, you really can't afford the luxury of a negative thought. So I trained my entire team with how to create this really, really positive internal dialogue and set goals that we would believe that we would achieve against all odds. That beliefs are self-fulfilling prophecy. And it caught on. And we met every morning to pray and to do our declarations. And we had goals that we had written up on the board. By that time, I was running 3 divisions in the company. And I was given the task to increase our sales. And I said, well, what's my budget? You know, I'm going to need materials, maybe some advertising. He said, you don't have a budget. I mean, my budget's unlimited. He goes, no, you're not getting any money. And I said, oh, how am I supposed to do this with no? Okay. And so I thought, you know, you have not because you ask not. So I thought, I'm going to ask for a witty idea. I'm going to ask for a way to do that because nothing is impossible. And if nothing's impossible, God can make a way. So I asked for a witty idea. God gave me a witty idea that a lot of people thought was silly at first until we dominated the Houston market. We went to number 1 and we maintained that position for 7 years with that one crazy, witty little idea. But it wasn't just about the idea. It was about the execution of the keys and the plan and everything that had to do with our internal dialogue. We created a culture of encouragement because when you're in sales and you're in the trenches, you can get beat up. People even set appointments with us and we get all the way to the appointment. And that's back when we used the key maps. Y'all remember key maps? We didn't have the phone where you just do, you know, and it tells you what to do. No, you're flipping a key map while you're driving and you're driving in Houston traffic, you get to the other side of town only to find out that they're not there and they didn't even have the courtesy to cancel your appointment. You drove all the way across town. So they come back to the office and our culture was to love and support and encourage. And we didn't tolerate negative mantras like, oh, people are always setting appointments and then backing out. We reversed it and we said, you know what? We're going to create a mantra that now people make appointments with us and keep their appointments. And we noticed that the second that we changed the trend of what we were allowing ourselves to say, it changed the trend of what we were experiencing. Words have power. They're creative. And they are literally creating what you experience. And if you don't like what you're experiencing, then you don't need to feed it with more negative words. You need to break the patterns and just speak a different mantra, a different declaration. Draw the line in the sand and say, that's no longer true for me. You're literally in charge of your life. God put you in charge of your life. So by the power of your words, you know, God said, say to this mountain, be ye cast in the sea. And if you don't doubt in your heart, then whatever you say, there's no qualifiers in that word, whatever, are there? Whatever. It's a big word. It's all inclusive. Whatever you say, believing you will receive it, you will have it. So if I say, I'm attracting ideal customers for my business from the north, the south, the east, and the west, and from expected and unexpected sources daily, and I have the audacity to believe that, then what's going to happen? If what I say believing is a self-fulfilling prophecy, then can't I say that I attract 20 Melanies into my business or other leaders. I know you guys have some star power over there with your company. But if you say anything negative, in other words, if you let reality determine what you're going to say, then you're not letting your power to create it operate. In other words, look at your life as something that if there's anything that you don't like about it, then look at it in this way. You don't have to put up with it. If you've been experiencing a pattern in your business or a pattern in your life or a pattern in relationships or a pattern in your finances, you do not have to continue to experience that pattern. You can break it with the power of your words. Be determined and be confident in that. Don't speak and then waffle like, I wonder if it's going to happen. I wonder if what she's talking about is really true. I wonder if this will work. If I can declare and decree that I attract ideal clients, ideal business partners, ideal people to build my business from north to south, the east and the west, from expected and unexpected sources daily, I wonder if that will work. The very wondering is doubt, if you think about it. There's really no confidence there if you're still wondering if it's going to work. You have to speak it and you have to know it's going to work. You do have the power. God has given us the power in the tongue to speak life and to speak death. And you can speak life over your business, or you can speak death. And what is your internal dialogue regarding your business when discouragement comes? Oh, I'm just not cut out for this. I don't know if I can do it. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I don't have time. I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to admit it. I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want to say it to anybody. I don't want to admit that maybe I got into this and I shouldn't have done it. And now I'm in so deep and so many people are counting on me. I don't know what to do. I'd be embarrassed to drop out. What is your internal dialogue? Is it, I'm going to succeed against all odds. I'm doing this. If somebody else can do it, then I can do it too. They're no different than me. I can do it. They did it. I can do it. Nothing's impossible. God's for me. He can't be against me. He's with me always. He said I can speak life into my business. I choose to speak life into my business. I choose to speak success over my life against all odds, with all confidence that your words are going to create just that. Don't give in to defeat. Don't let your internal dialogue destroy your business, destroy your chances of success. I have a girlfriend, Dorothy. Dorothy took a company that was doing $3,000 a month to $1.3 billion. She became a millionaire in the company. I'll never forget the phone call. She goes, "Hey, it's here." And I knew what it was. It was her new Rolls-Royce Phantom drop head, white on white convertible. It was a gorgeous car, but she worked for it. And when I tell you she worked for it, I mean, she worked for it. She worked for it. She goes, "No, I'm unstoppable. Nothing's going to slow my roll. Nothing's going to get in my way. I'm going to make this happen. This is happening. I'm not going to let discouragement stop me. I'm not going to let disappointment stop me. I'm not going to let exhaustion stop me. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to keep going till I succeed." And she did. And she succeeded against all odds. Your company is a wonderful company. It's well established. The products are beyond fantastic. You all know. Dorothy took a company that was a complete dog. I saw their product line. I saw their labeling. I said, "Oh, Dorothy, I don't know. It doesn't look good. I mean, their packaging is so unattractive." I mean, I hate to be like a Kardashian, but it was the worst packaging I've ever seen in my life. It just made you not want to take anything that they had. I mean, they had pills and they had the juice and they had, but the labeling and the packaging was so faded and so awful and so tacky. I didn't want to take or drink anything she had. But Dorothy was an unstoppable, charging 6,000-pound rhinoceros with 2-inch thick outer skin. And negativity since it just bounced off of her like ping, 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 ping. I mean, Dorothy was just like bulletproof. It didn't matter what happened. It didn't matter. And because of her determination, because she stayed with it, because she was faithful, that company's made enough money to change their packaging, improve everything. And Dorothy was guiding them every step of the way. I need this, I need this, I need that. And they were producing. She created 22 millionaires in that company because she was unstoppable. She didn't let discouragement even have a chance to take hold. She was like, oh no, I'm getting there. Oh no, this is it. Oh no, I'm going to make this happen. Oh no, this is it. They were in every country. She had over 500,000 people that she had signed up or that had been signed up in her downline. Over 500,000 people. Now, not everybody stayed. People dropped out for whatever reason, but she didn't let it stop her. She didn't get discouraged. Erosion happens, but you don't let it stop you. You keep going. You keep calling out. You keep praying. You're steadfast. You don't quit. Every successful network marketer I have ever worked with, met over the years, every single one of them had one thing in common: the ability to stay positive, uplifted, and determined to succeed against all odds. They kept their eye on the prize. They didn't give up. They spoke life into their business. They constantly read books. They constantly attended Zooms. They stayed plugged in to win. They stayed plugged in. Even in the times that they didn't feel like it, they stayed plugged in. They did the personal development. Every single one of these leaders was a real personal development addict, pretty much. And they still are today. The people that succeed are the people that are willing to educate themselves, the people that are willing to train, the people that are willing to learn how to use self-talk, how to use visualization in the most powerful and effective way. And the Bible tells us you can speak life, you can speak death. The Bible tells us write the vision and make it plain. I think your imagination of what you're imagining in your future is a preview of your life to come if you don't give up, if you don't give in, if you don't allow negativity to come in and literally take you out. Because that's what negativity does. It will take you out. You've got to be around positive people in your business. Stay around your positive leaders. Stay plugged into positive people. Don't get discouraged. Don't allow discouragement. Be like Dorothy, like the charging rhinoceros, and the negativity just ping, 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 ping. It just bounced off. Nothing penetrated. Nothing. And there were times that she, had disappointments. She had an entire group leave and go to another company. She said, that's all right. We're just going to attract better people. We're just going to keep going. I'm just going to change my affirmations. I'm going to call in the best of the best that are loyal and dedicated, that will see it through. Not the froggies that jump from one pond to the next. Those people never succeed, okay? Can I just tell you that they never succeed? They're into everything. They're trying to do too many things at once, and they're just not loyal. And people that aren't loyal don't succeed. It's just the way it is. I don't know what all the ramifications and reasons and whys and all that behind that is, but I've not seen one person that just constantly jumps from one thing to another. They'll find the best and then get in relationship with the company, make a commitment, and then don't deviate. Be strong. If other people have made it in your company, in your business, then you can too. Don't let negativity take you out. And I'm sure that Melanie and Ryan can tell you more about the program that I offer, the Keys to Everything. We have a boot camp. The Keys to Everything is the material that we use in the boot camp. Okay? And then we have a daily focus guide, which is where you write your declarations that you're going to say. If you start to get negative, you pull out your focus guide, you start to read your declarations. You override the negativity with your daily focus guide. And it works, doesn't it, guys? And so you've got to be relentless with your efforts to overcome negativity. Otherwise, negativity is going to overcome you. That's truth. The focus guide is like a power tool that you can just whip out and carry it in your purse, pocket. You can even get extra ones, carry one in the car. You can record it on your phone and play it on your Bluetooth in the car or on your speakers, your headphones, while you're driving, while you're doing the dishes, while you're taking care of the kids. These affirmations can be running through your mind. You can record your visualizations of your successful business and the other things you want to succeed in life. And you can listen to those as you're going to sleep and as you're waking up in the morning. For heaven's sakes, don't turn on the news. That'll depress anybody. No, get into your vision, get happy, work yourself up, encourage yourself with your own internal dialogue. Listen to your visualizations or read your visualizations. Keep your eye on the prize. And if you want to do boot camp, then Melanie or Ryan are boot camp instructors with our program. And it is a leadership program. Ryan is a master life coach in our program. And Melanie is working on achieving that as well. And so they're both looking for people that are wanting their help to boot camp you through the program. It's something that's easy to do. It may sound hard. Boot camp is always something that had maybe a negative connotation, but this boot camp is super easy and super fun. And you're just reading a little bit every day and then checking in with your boot camp instructor. And in our program, there's the leadership opportunity for you to, once you're boot camped or you've been in boot camp long enough where we feel like we can trust you to boot camp somebody else, then you can start boot camping other people in your group. And once you boot camp 2 people, you can become a licensed life coach. Then you can go on to become a real leader like Ryan Allen and become a master life coach in the program. Now, in network marketing, we always hear about the importance of leadership, but you can literally exhaust yourself trying to keep somebody motivated, especially the ones that are like the ones that are, I call it herding cats. They're not really going anywhere. They're just all over the place, and you're trying to direct them, you're trying to help them, but they're not really cooperating. This tool, the Keys to Everything in our boot camp, is a wonderful infusion into network marketing business And many companies, in fact, my girlfriend Dorothy has now started her own network marketing company and is using our material and our boot camp as the branch or division of her company for motivational training, leadership, and all of the above, because it is all of the above. And so they're ready, willing, and waiting to help you through the process of boot camp. It's only $39.95. It normally is $200. And the licensing protocol can cost up to $10,000. But right now, we're not charging anything for the licensing. And we're birthing leaders all across the country. But in network marketing, it's very important for you, and you may not realize it right now until you start to develop your team and they're expecting you to show up and motivate. This is a turnkey system that does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. And right now we have a drawing for a trip for two to Paris for those of you that would be willing to check it out by viewing our orientation video. And if you'd like to do that, Melanie or Ryan will provide you with their phone number. You can text them and they will send you the link that will give you the orientation videos for you to watch. And then you'll go through the entering, you'll enter the Paris trip for two. And so even better still, if you win the trip for two to Paris, then Melanie and Ryan win too. So not only do you get to go, two people, round trip airfare, $750 spending money, and that is 6 days and 5 nights. Not only do you get to go to Paris or Jerusalem or Venice, Italy, those are the 3 options, then Ryan and Melanie get to go as well. So this is fun. We're having a good time. It's a leadership program. It's going to help you get your head on straight. And it may just help you succeed in Plexus. Because if the internal dialogue doesn't change, if nothing changes, then you can't expect different results. Don't take the crazy pills. Because a lot of people think that if they just keep doing exactly what they've been doing and they're consistent at it, that they're going to get where they're going. And they don't take the time to stop and analyze, is that really working? Am I really getting there? Am I really succeeding? This helps you stop the merry-go-round for long enough to analyze your life, analyze your situation, and then do something radically positive about it. Well, if there's not anything else, I guess we can close and let you guys get on about your evening. And I appreciate you having me today.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to read a couple of little letters I got from people. Like I said, I did Kay's program, The Keys to Everything, back in July, and it was absolutely mind-blowing, amazing for me, and just life-changing. And I've been studying personal development, reading books about the subconscious mind, the power of positive thinking, Norman Vincent Peale, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. I mean, all of these books, which were amazing, and my knowledge, my awareness was increasing, my consciousness was increasing. But all those put together, as they are all great, and I probably will read them over because this is all about renewing our mind daily. Some of those books I'll read again, but this book, The Keys to Everything, was so comprehensive. It touched on everything those books touched on and so much more. As a Christian and a believer in Jesus Christ, what I love the most is that, in chapters 11 and 12, you get the access to the rites of passage. She explains it thoroughly, straight from the Word of God. And there's so many scriptures in there. And many of those scriptures I had read in the Bible many times, but I just didn't have the revelation and see them and understand them in the way that I do now. And they all came alive for me. And I think that was my first live, was to introduce this to people, because I don't usually get on live. It's just something that one of the limiting beliefs that I've had that has been removed was worrying about what people think. And as we know in Plexus, we love to share health and wellness with people. And and mental health and wellness and our beliefs, it's another aspect of this. So it just fits really well with our business. But here's a couple, I just want to read real quick, a couple of things I had, like I said, after I went through the program, I was very much excited to be a part of it and help coach boot camp people through it. And it was a pleasure. It was an honor. And just having texts from people, several I see on this call, just saying, how life-changing the information was it was just good for my soul, made me happy. But here's one from Gayla. It just says, Ryan, thank you so much for introducing me to the keys to everything. This has truly been a life changer for me. Regardless of my circumstances, I can choose to believe that God is working it all out for his glory and my good. Jeremiah 29:11-13. His plans are for me to be prosperous in all I do. And so there's that one. And then here's another one from Deborah. It says, Jesus who strengthens me. He is my rock and my hope, and the enemy has no place in my life. I declare health and happiness, peace and joy over my life and the lives of my family. My harbored negativity left me that day in church. I have worked through my unforgiveness that I didn't even realize I had. I wake up feeling light. I wake up feeling a weight has been lifted and feel how great it is to breathe. I feel like I can breathe. Crazy, right? My heart is so light and I just feel like a new person. All God has ever wanted was for me to see myself as worthy, as enough, as his. My relationships are so different. My perspective is so different. God has shown me his blessings and that doing all of this in this book instructs us to do really does work and really has been impacting my life. I am so grateful beyond words. And then there's just everyone that's read it has just been impacted positively. So for me, this is my go-to book now, along with the Bible, because it really just leads you back to the Word of God. And there's so many scriptures in here. And that's what I appreciate studying this kind of stuff for 4 years. A lot of the information out there talks about universal intelligence and this and that. And really it's all in the Word of God. It's right there. But if we don't have ears to hear and eyes to see, we might be missing it. So I'm grateful for UK and Mark. And I encourage you all to do this. Get the book. It'll be the best investment you made. And then once you get through the book, you get on the conference calls and listen. So every morning, 7:30 to 8, or you can listen to the recorded call, which I'm actually going to listen to again because today's was incredible. Well, they all are, but this one was extra special. And I think I say that every morning, but anyway, it's really good. So you can listen to those, and it's talk about starting your morning right. And so anyway, I'm just grateful that Kay took the time. She really is doing what we were on as Christians. We're instructed to share the good news, the gospel. And this book certainly does that. But it also explains that the Bible says the kingdom of heaven is at hand now. So I think that was new revelation for me, and I just love it. So anyway, we appreciate you guys for jumping on, and we're here to support and love on you and help you any way we can. And I encourage you to get the book and let either one of us life coach you. I see Melanie's mom's on here. She's a life coach. Several other people are. I see Brandy's on. She just finished up. Gayla, there's Gayla. Hey, Gayla. But anyway, thanks, Kay. We appreciate you, and I know this has been a blessing to our family, and I can't wait to teach it to my children, and so that they don't get some of the limiting beliefs that I had growing up, so we can change the generational paradigm. So,
does anybody have any questions for Kay really quick? Thank you, Kay. It was amazing. I took a ton of notes. It's good stuff. Does anybody have any questions about the trip, the boot camp, anything?
If you do, call us. I mean,
I put my cell phone number down there.
But you I would just say get the book. I mean, we're preaching to the choir here. You guys you're part of Plexus. You know how much personal development is, how important it is for your success and renewing your mind. And this is the best material I've found in my 4 years. So obviously we want to share it with you. We want to shorten your learning curve. I had to go through my own journey, and I'm still going through it, but I would love to make your journey shorter than mine has been. So anyway, anything else?
I don't think so.
I say that don't let the boot camp scare you, because it's amazing. And I went through it, and it's 2 chapters a day. You just text and say, I read my chapters. And I even one day called Ryan and I said I got stuck on one chapter because it was really long and I had to really think about it. And I really wanted to pour my heart and soul into it and not just speed through it. And but I have my sister-in-law's going through, and she's on the call. I'm so excited she got on the call tonight, and she's going through it, and she's every day, and now she's on chapter 14. So that's my first one. And then I have a couple waiting to go. So I just highly encourage you. It's really a community, and we're here to love and support each other through it. It's our growth and development. So don't be afraid to commit to that, because it's something that's very doable in your day, and it's something that you look forward to, and you want to keep reading and want to keep reading. So I just wanted to support that, and hopefully that'll encourage you if you have not gone through yet.
Yeah, thanks, Marilyn. 2 chapters a day. You're talking about you're 2 weeks in, you're done. Five conference calls, reading your daily focus guide. So really, if you do it every day, you've got like 5 or 6 extra days that you just couldn't get to something. So very, very doable.
Explain the boot camp a little bit, like how many days do they know?
It's 30 days. Yeah. So whenever you start, it'll be 30 days. You read 2 chapters a day. Like I said, I'm a slow reader, and I've got 3 kids, and Jacob's doing baseball. We did 2 games on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. We practiced Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, I know we all have stuff going on, but it's a page turner. You won't put the book down, but it really comes down to, if you're hungry and you're trying to develop, it'll be easy for you. I mean, we can, it's exactly. You'll find it's not hard to get through it. And there's about, like I said, I just took 20 people through in September, and everybody finished fine. So anyway, we love you guys. Appreciate you. And call us if you have any questions, and we're praying for you, and have a blessed evening.
Yeah.